What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Alex Cuesta Show. How's everybody doing out there on this Wednesday, March 20th of 2024 for episode 116? Dave, you're still here and people could still see you. This is disappointing.
Hi. I'm doing okay, even though you didn't ask me. I'm still going to let people how I'm doing.
Nobody cares, and nobody actually cares about how you're doing. So, first off, thank you, everybody, for watching out there. We appreciate all of you. If you're watching on X, please give this a repost and let everybody know that you are here. If you're watching on YouTube, smash the like button and subscribe here. And again, share this out with everybody because the best way for us to grow is word of mouth. So last week, it was just Dave and I solo. We had a fun time. We talked about a whole bunch of things. We talked about Akira Toriyama. We talked about Hollywood being disgusting pedophiles. We had a grand old time. So if you want to go and watch a fun show, definitely go back and check that out. You can go on YouTube or anywhere you can find a podcast. We are all there. So we had a good time. Dave, anything exciting going on in your life?
No, not really. I've been sick pretty much the whole day. So if I don't talk entirely too much, that's why.
I mean, I feel like this is like an excuse of yours. You pretend to be sick every once in a while just so you don't have to talk to people. And then you sit there and you play the woe is me card. Like, I think we need to do wellness checks on you. I think we need to send somebody out there to West Virginia to make sure that you're just not like, the sex change stuff is tough. I get it. The drugs you have to be on and the things that we really got to just make sure you keep on going to your doctor, Dave. I think that's just what it is. We got to make sure that you stay in touch and that the transition goes smoothly and that the scheduled surgeries, they continue to come along.
Yeah.
I don't know why you keep doing this show with me.
I don't know. I was going to let you keep going. It got really awkward, honestly.
It's just verbal abuse, and you take it. So let's get to this week's show, because this week's show, we have a good time. We have somebody who's been on with us before, but this is his first time he's ever going to be jumping on with us live. And we're pumped for it because, he's a good buddy of ours. So we're going to get right to it. We're bringing him in. He's our boy, Colton Gesser. What is up, Sea-Wagon?
What's up, gents? Appreciate you guys having me on. Love talking with you guys. So it's definitely exciting to get back on with you guys.
Yeah, it's absolutely a good time. Always fun to have you on. So just a little bit about Colton. He is a producer at WFAN 660 and CBS Sports Radio. He also is Steeler Nation. You do the spaces and stuff over at Steeler Nation. And on top of that, for the Fan Podcast, with you're on there weekly, and you were on there earlier today, right? You guys are on earlier on Wednesdays.
We usually are. We were off today. I guess Will's been busy, even though I should have just ran the show myself. So, but yeah, Will's been busy. So
a little disheartening that the radio guy decided to take it off because the other guy wasn't there. I don't know, man.
I hear you. Well, we got like 4 of us that do it. So Dom and Jake, and then me and Will, clearly. So, but yeah, he wanted a little bit of time off, and even though I want to go on and rant about Kenny Pickett, and we'll have to save that for another show then.
You'll have the opportunity today. I can tell you right now, you will have that opportunity today to rant about the boy of the shore, the pride of the Shore Conference, best Steelers quarterback in the last millennia, but. We will give you a chance to talk about that. But yeah, so for the fans, you can go on there anywhere you can find a podcast. They're on Facebook. They do their live stream right 5 o'clock, usually on Wednesday, 5 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
And it's an all football podcast. So Will's a Jets fan, you're a Steelers fan. What Dom is
a Patriots fan, and Jake is a Birds fan.
So why is Dom there?
Some ask.
He's allowed to be there now because they're in the cellar. So, it's a good time to beat up on the Patriots for the moment. So we're excited for their demise and their downfall. We are going to jump right into it, though, because NFL, let's get right in. The offseason. So I'm going to start off. We're going to flip on our heads here because I want to talk about the new news coming out with the owners that they are considering at the league meeting banning the hip drop tackle. So just for reference, this doesn't fucking exist. I just want to throw that out there. This isn't a real thing. This is worse than some of the, I don't know, this is one of the dumbest things. So the way they describe it is when a player has a ball carrier around the waist and they use their body weight to drop their hip, causing a whipping motion and potentially hurting the ball carrier. In football, that's called a tackle. That is called getting the player down to the ground, however you can, and it is a fairly safe tackle. David, thank you for looking that up. Here is a reference point for what they're calling a hip drop tackle.
I muted the volume. I don't know who this is. I'll give him credit afterwards, but here.
Go ahead. So if you're watching it, wrapping, and then they fall to the ground. So quite literally just tackling a guy. And just because guys get hurt.
That wasn't a hip drop.
Body slam. You see those? I think those should be more allowed.
Thank you, touchdown blitz, for that.
For the body slams afterwards. But, I mean, Colton, I'm going to start off with you. What is your opinion on the potential ban of the tackle that's not real?
Gosh, banning more tackles in football. That's brilliant, isn't it? It's a great idea. We've already lost, our mojo on tackling in football.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but they'll still use the highlights. They'll still use the highlights of the big hits. Yeah.
They sure will. I just don't understand why we're putting more pressure on the defense. It's already an offensive-driven league. You can't hit the quarterback. You can't even breathe on them half the time, yet we're going to be taking another tackle away from these guys. Good luck. Might as well put flags on these guys. It's going to eventually, by the time we die, they're going to be playing flag football. It's
where we're going, but
by the time we die, it's going to be flag football. So we're going to be playing.
They have flag football in the Olympics.
Like, so how many times? Sport. Like, I just don't get it, man. Like, unless you're start forcing the runners to go down, like they're wrapped up. That's the play. That is it. Like,
which would suck,
kind of
right?
where we're
because
going
it's like proximity, and it's like, and I mentioned this because we're all in a group chat, which God knows, FBI agents, please don't look at our group chat, but we are all in a group chat, and I think one of the things I also mentioned, and we're going to talk about Kenny Pickett later, and Kenny is famous for being at the University of Pittsburgh doing a fake slide, which I didn't know how he didn't tear every bone and muscle in his knee, and then continuing and going. And one of the big issues in the NFL for me, and I know the owners aren't going to look at this because it's more exciting, right? But QBs faking going down and then getting more yards. Pat Mahomes does this all the time. Jared Allen's used it. Like
Josh Allen did it against Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
Okay, Josh Allen. Yeah.
Josh Allen did it against Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
And it's also done along the sidelines too, where quarterbacks start to slow up to look like they're going out, and then they jump and they get a few extra yards.
Mm-hmm.
So what to do here, right? Because now you're telling guys they can't tackle people, but you're also telling quarterbacks that when they're obviously giving themselves up, oh, no, you don't have to, sorry, you can keep going. So at this point, not even wrapping up, if you're in the proximity of the guy, like, all right, they're down. Like, I don't know. God, David, I'm going to you. What's your opinion on hip drop?
I think it's dumb what they're trying to do. I think it's very obvious what they're trying to do. I don't think they like tackle football. We saw that from the taunting penalty. This has been coming a long time. Everyone in charge of it should be sacked. They should be gone. They should be nowhere near football. I don't care how long they've been near football. They don't deserve to be there now because they want to take it away. It's that simple. I don't care if it's Sean McVay. I don't care if it's Samaras. I don't care who the fuck it is. Go away because you want to kill it because you don't like it very much because it might not make you enough money that you might want to make in the near future, which you won't make because it's going to tank anyway. That's simple.
Sick David is angry David, and I love it. I love sick, angry David. Real quick before we jump in, I just want to thank Seth Weathers, Conservative Dad's Ultra Right Beer, having a little bit of it. We appreciate you, Seth, former guest on the show. Go out and buy that. That is not a paid promotion. Seth is just awesome. But overall, yeah, I agree with you, Dave. Now, Bolt, what about the sliding? What my two suggestions are: either ban QB scrambles, which would suck, right? Because that's an exciting part of the game, or once they get beyond the line of scrimmage, proximity. If a player gets within like 3 yards or 2 yards of them, they're down. And there is no having to give yourself up anymore. Like, so what would be your, fix of the quarterbacks, or is it a big penalty? If they don't actually go down, you find them like 15 yards or whatever it is. What would you do?
The thing is, it's so frustrating to watch some of this stuff. Like the Josh Allen play, I'm just so used to. Like my dad's reacting like, "Hey, he fake slid, having a freak out." I'm just like, "What do we do and tackle him?" And I've been realizing he fake slid. Then I see a replay. I'm like, "Oh no, Josh Allen actually fake slid." You have to allow hits to happen. Then you have to allow these guys to start hitting them, or like you said, if they're in a proximity, they're instantly down. Like
or don't let them slide.
If ands or buts. Like if there's a guy like 2 yards from him, he's down. There's no.
Or take away giving themselves up. because you know what? If they're going to use that, you can't give yourself up anymore, and you take that risk as a ball carrier or the quarterback. When you go past the line of scrimmage, you can no longer give yourself up. Like I think that could be another rule. Like you're not allowed to. Now you are officially a ball carrier. You must be tackled to the ground. Period. And that's it. I don't know. It's rather frustrating. Dave, what about you? Slides, quarterback slides. How would you fix the nonsense that's going on? And you know they're not going to, so we're just kind of rattling it off. But if you could, how would you fix it?
I mean, you guys really just put. I mean, I don't want to do a proximity thing. That's just dumb.
It's stupid.
We're just getting to the point where it's a South Park episode,
which they should use that.
Yeah, where it's just sarcastic ball. But it's either you just take away the slide altogether, or you allow football to be more football again. And if a hit happens because you're sliding way too damn late, then a hit happens. You fucked up. It's that simple.
Yeah. What about penalizing them? What about if they are fake sliding? It's obvious, right?
I don't want to add more penalties to the game. Stop adding more penalties to the game.
I agree with
Stop putting all this shit in the game.
Dude, I'm with you, but these guys aren't understanding that they get away with murder. Like I just don't understand why we're going to allow them to do these things and get away with this. Mm-hmm. You want to scramble, you better go down, or I'm not throwing a flag when you get lit up like the 4th of July. It's what it is. And the thing is, guys are so petrified on the defense to hit these guys.
No,
they are
100%.
so scared.
You can see it.
For their
you can see it in their body
They're
language.
so scared for their wallets, man. It is it's so frustrating to watch it. To be honest, I hate to say it, but I hate to say it, Tom Brady said it best with the quarterbacks are being allowed to make dangerous throws and get away with it.
Yep.
He's right there. That Pittman hit was it Keanu Neal that lit up Michael Pittman, the Steelers, Colts game. And everyone's like, oh, that's a 30. I'm like, no, it's not. He's playing the football.
It's a good hit.
Minshew threw it in an awful spot. What is he supposed to do about it? Again, if it was head to head, sure. It was just shoulder to his helmet. That's an awful throw. He would have got murdered.
And screw head-to-head, because head-to-head also is subjective. If a player is going to tackle at the chest and all of a sudden a receiver lowers their body and head contact, that is not contact initiated by the defender anymore. That is contact initiated by the wide receiver because they lower their level. And things need to be taken into account. And also, when the hell are we going to penalize running backs? When are we going to penalize running backs for helmet to helmet? Nobody uses their heads more as weapons than running backs.
I just find it funny that things got so bad last year.
Didn't they call them 2 years ago? Didn't they throw a few?
In the preseason. I think in the preseason. I don't think they did it. Yeah, no.
I just find it that it got so bad last year that J.J. Watt is on Twitter talking about these fines that are happening. And stuff. What is going on? He himself is astounded by what's happening.
And it just goes to show, because JJ hasn't been that long retired, and the game has gone away so far since he's retired that he's now the old guy complaining at clouds. He's yelling at clouds on the internet about things that he can't change. Now, I want to go the Greg Williams route. Does anyone remember Greg Williams? The body doesn't move.
He's the defensive coordinator for the DC Defenders now.
Yes, the head doesn't work. The body don't work without the head. Take out the head, the body is gone. We need to start doing that to these damn quarterbacks. You need to have guys where you need to have dudes in the front office saying, we'll pay the fines. Go take out these fucking quarterbacks that are fake sliding. And if you get penalized, we'll pay it for you, because then we'll stop the fake sliding. Because the moment Patty Mahomes is out for the season, the moment Josh Allen has a serious injury, the moment all these guys that do this shit get serious injuries and people are up in arms, but then it's just hey, we didn't know if they were going to continue going, so we finished the play. That's it. Because that's what you have to do. And you have to tell these guys, we will handle that. You finish the play till the whistle. Play till the whistle.
I think your original point is kind of where it's going to end up going, possibly, is if they're in the vicinity, that's going to be the play. Which sucks, is you're taking the juice out of the game. You laugh, Dave. That's where it's going to go.
I know that's where it's going.
The thing is, now they'll be penalized if they accidentally touch them after being in the vicinity.
Oh,
that'll be a defensive penalty.
Well, that's what sucks. That's what I just stop protecting them. If they're running back, they're I keep forgetting. They're a running back. If they scramble, they are a running back. Stop treating them like a quarterback still. They are not. They are running backs.
Yep.
Let them get hit. They want to take the hit. That's on them.
I don't think we realized this necessarily because we just kind of let it go in the first place. But this all started with the way the kickoff has been completely dismantled from the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, we have all this pomp and circumstance for the Super Bowl. It's the big game. Oh, I can't wait. They got this person for the halftime show. Oh, we'll have to see what happens. And the game fucking starts with a touchback. There is no electricity to start a goddamn Super Bowl. None at all.
None at all.
So, we have to realize that you effectively took the kickoff out of the game, and we let that happen because it's like, whatever. I mean, it's the kickoff. It didn't necessarily matter that much. The guy's in the Hall of Fame because of it, but it didn't necessarily matter that much. And that's why it's kept going this way, because we just allowed them to take away parts of football that are supposed to be there in the first place.
That's what sucks. This game wasn't meant to be like baseball.
It's a violent game.
It's a violent game. I just don't understand. These guys know what they're signing up for. Sure, I understand doing things to try to make it safer, but I just don't understand.
But let's also talk about
this
that
is a violent.
bullshit.
I just don't understand why we forgot this is a violent game. How many times have you heard players hit me in the head, please? I'll pay your fines. Hit me in the head. Larry Fitzgerald said the best. Please hit me in the head. Do not take my knees out.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that bullshit of safety. The bullshit of safety.
Yeah.
They were talking about safety while saying, let's add an 18th regular season game. Are we serious right now? You're going to talk about safety, but you're going to ask guys to go and put their bodies on the line more in full contact with fatigues? That is what so it's nonsense whenever they talk about safety. They don't mean it. All they want is dollar signs. They want to keep these guys upright so they can keep them playing to make more money. It has nothing to do with the actual safety. They don't give a shit about their well-being. If they did,
about money, man.
If they cared about their well-being, they would be enforcing actual form in football at the lower levels. You want to see less concussions? Make people tackle correctly. Make them learn how to do it. Don't let that scrawny, 170-pound superstar corner tackle with his fucking head all the time and do improper tackles and get everybody hurt just because he's super talented. So I want to show real quick the thing we were talking about with Kenny Pickett. This is the fake slide that he did. I'm going to mute it as well because I don't want to hear loudness. Where are we at here? Boom, mute it, and let's watch what he did. So he goes, has the ball. This is Kenny Pickett at Pitt, not Pittsburgh, University of Pitt. And then fake slide and continues going. Now, from here, it doesn't look that ridiculous, right? But let's watch the replay, how it happens, and just how hard that is as a defender. He looks like he's ready to give himself up. Boom, slows down. Drags that leg.
See that guy?
And the thing is, they started to slow down because they saw him start giving himself up, and Pickett scores off of this. And now this is translated into the NFL, and it's just absolute fucking nonsense that it's being used so much. And it's, I don't like to say things are unfair. I think that's a babyish, dumb way to put things. That's unfair. But man, that's unfair. That is and the thing is, there's no.
It is, because if Kenny Pickett slides there and that safety lights up kind of like the 4th of July, that guy's getting ejected and 15-yard penalty. So it sucks, man. It really does. It's just, I'm telling you, you got to start treating these guys as in running backs. If he gets hit,
it used to
hard, that's gotta ride. That we gotta stop with the whole 15-yard penalty. They are running backs. How many times have we heard that is a running back? He's a running back. If he's scrambling, stop it.
I mean, it used to be that way, right? When Steve Young, John Elway, those guys famous. One of the most famous scrambles of all time is John Elway getting fucking helicoptered.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the biggest things. Could you imagine if Patty Mahomes got helicoptered? They would actually come with a gun and shoot the defenders, and they would execute the defenders on the field.
It'd be like that episode of Family Guy with the Shapoopy with a million flags. There's not enough flags. That's what it'd be, a cannon of flags. Hold on, boom. There goes all the flags.
It would absolutely be a death sentence for whoever did it. And it's wild to think that we've come in 20 years. It's less than 20 years. A little more than 20 years, 25 years since that happened in 98 with Elway, that we're now to the point where they're doing that. They're fake sliding, and football players are afraid to hit people in the field of play. Not even he's standing back in the pocket. The man is in the field of play, and football players are afraid.
The problem is the league picks and chooses when they call hits on guys too.
Yes.
Certain quarterbacks, and I get it. Your top 5 guys, they get protected extra, but you got to start protecting these guys equal. Like I've seen, again, you guys could probably only imagine. Like I've seen hits on Zach Wilson. I'm like, holy God, how was that not a flag? And I'm like, I saw the Steelers hit Trevor Lawrence clean this season, and they get flagged. Like wrapped him around the waist. It wasn't late. Clean hit, flagged. I'm like, okay, that's a tackle by the books. Got flagged. Okay. Kenny Pickett, they don't want you picking up and driving guys. Kenny Pickett gets lifted up, driven in the ground, and he's hurt. He's got like pretty much a bruised sternum, and he's out the rest of the game. I'm like, oh, yeah, great. But no flag there. I'm like, I just don't understand the treatment thing. They're all equal. Like, if that is a quarterback, you protect them all the same.
Nope. No, they're not.
That's Mahomes. Hold on. Oh, that's Brady. Hold on. There's another one. Like, I don't understand the protection of players, certain guys specifically. I don't
want to get political, but this is kind of going in a similar political vein where they're inventing things. Like we see in politics all the time, they're inventing words. They're inventing shit that's not real. Football's the same thing. Burping the quarterback, that's not a real thing. That's not a real thing. That was made up 3 years ago, whatever it was. Ragdolling a quarterback, once again, we used to say, like, motherfucker got ragdolled, right? That's not an actual terminology that people use in football. What they have been called is great tackles. You got the guy down, you hit him hard. That's awesome. It's not anybody's fault that your quarterback isn't hitting the gym hard enough to withstand the 300-pound guy that they know is going to hit them. It's beyond me.
I don't know. My favorite thing is watching a D lineman end up, just bonking a quarterback on the helmet. The thing that's protecting their head. I get it still hurts their head, but they're bonking a helmet and they get flagged for it. They don't even mean to half the time, and they get flagged for it.
Shame on the quarterbacks, honestly. Shame on the quarterbacks. I go, he touched my head, bro. Like you get harder head pats from your coaches than half of these penalties.
The incentive is to win. What's history going to bear out? Oh, that you complain about a call or that you won a Super Bowl?
Are these Chiefs Super Bowls legit in this era? Honestly, I'm being honest. They're going to go down in the books as legit, but it's the softest era of football in the history of football. This is easily the softest. It's only getting
softer, man. So enjoy it while we have it, because it's going to only get softer, Alex and Dave. It's only going to get softer.
It's not going to be football.
I disagree. We watch the Jets, so we'll see our players get thrown around. It's fine. We're still going to see old school football. We want you to see the flags. So.
Aaron Rodgers is going to be the first top 5 quarterback in football to not get a roughing the passer.
Isn't that the whole point of like watching this? Like we watch these hard hits, and then you instantly gasp. Like if your team lights up a guy, you instantly gasp. Like, oh boy, where's the flag? Like you just know it's coming, even though it's clean, but it's violent, and it's like, oh, where is it? You know it's coming. You just know.
I find myself getting angry when the opposing teams get bullshit flags. Like I find myself getting pissed. Like that's nonsense. Like I don't want to win that way. Like I don't want to win because of an awful flag. Like watching those types of things. Now there are times where Mike White gets destroyed in the play that he breaks his ribs on. Absolutely a flag because he gets destroyed and then landed on, which by the rules, I guess. And Zach Wilson, how many times does a kid have to die to get a flag? Like he honestly, Zach Wilson died a lot in his Jets tenure, and I think he would have had a better career if he had the extra 340 yards and penalties that they owe him, right? Like the Jets would have many more first downs if the roughing the passers were called against Zach Wilson, and drives wouldn't be shot because the kid is just throwing up Hail Marys because he knows he's not going to get a call. Like I'm not defending Zach Wilson. He's a shit quarterback. Great at banging moms, bad at being a quarterback. But it's like, what do we have to do? So let's switch gears. We're done complaining about the NFL. Let's talk about the NFL. Offseason. So we're going to start off with your Steelers, Bolty boy. They got rid of their future. They got rid of Ocean Township's finest, Kenny Pickett. They traded their best quarterback since Terry Bradshaw. What are you gonna? What? I know. I'm just trying to piss Colt off.
I hate you. You're
so in reality, what's your opinion on what went down with Kenny? All the things there, and what is he gonna do with the Eagles?
So it's very frustrating. I probably was one of the only morons to back up Kenny Pickett for how bad he was playing. But for me, he is now known as Kenny Bitchit. It's a shame. What so
that's a terrible nickname. Can we get him a better one? please?
No, he's definitely Kenny Bitchett. That's definitely where he's at now. So
how about Benny Kickett? Benny Kickett. Just flip the names. Benny Kickett.
No, I hate you. So to give a little context on this, so week 17, we know Kenny Pickett hurt his ankle against the Cardinals. I think that was like week 13 or 14. He was out 4 to 6 weeks. And he comes back, and he's a healthy scratch. I was like, okay, he's kind of was practicing this week. Why is he a healthy scratch? No, it's an Everton jersey up at the top. But
I mean, he is a secret Giants fan.
Oh, well, distracted. That's hilarious. That's false. But it's not Giants jersey. You guys are hilarious. But, oh, gosh, I hate you guys getting off track. So week 17, he's supposed to back up Mason Rudolph. And he doesn't. He's a healthy scratch, and he's healthy. So when the reports came out that he said he did not want to back up Mason Rudolph. I was like, okay. And then next week, he comes out and goes, that's not true. I'm backing up Mason this week. And he does back up Mason, and the rest is history.
In his defense, Mason Rudolph has 2 first names. You can't trust anybody with 2 first names.
Well, but the crazy thing is, Rudolph lights away during the night, so you would want to be behind Rudolph. So I don't.
Why did I agree to jump on this show? Oh gosh, why did I agree to jump on this show with 2 memers? So then again, they signed Russell Wilson. That's the Steelers' big offseason acquisition, signing Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. And reports are that Mike Tomlin told Kenny Pickett that they were not going to do anything. Sir, Kenny Pickett, put your big boy pants on. It's a business. Shut up. You're not Mahomes sitting in the wings, and the Steelers haven't canned you that bad that you're Mahomes. Like, they've treated you so poorly. Stop it. Have the Steelers screwed him on points? Absolutely. Matt Canada was a coordinator for freaking 3 years in Pittsburgh. So, yeah, I think they've screwed Kenny a little bit with that. But then they signed Russ. Like, it's a business, dude. And the Steelers never guaranteed Russ the job. That's like reports are coming out even more and more lately is that they never guaranteed Russ the job. It was like, oh, yeah, you're fighting the job for him, but Russ is in the lead position because it's Ty goes to the vet, and that's what Russ is. And Kenny threw a knip shit, and the Steelers said, you know what, screw this. As Mike Tomlin likes to say, he does not want hostages. He wants volunteers. And see you later, Kenny Pickett. And, oh, by the way, now you have 0 chance of starting in Philly. Congratulations. Now really enjoy the punt.
Oh, he's going to start 4 to 6 games.
I hate you.
Jalen Hurts always seriously, because Jalen Hurts always gets banged up. Pickett will play games because Jalen Hurts gets banged up a few games a year. And I'm not saying that he's going to have a chance to take Jalen Hurts' spot. That's not what I'm saying. Hurts is a better quarterback. But he is going to get some time to get some game film in a new spot with a different offense and possibly be able to move in his career, because a guy that has started in the NFL, that has had some success, because Kenny Pickett has had some good games for the Steelers and he's had some poor games. So, in looking at it, he's closer to home in Philly, right? Because he's right in Ocean Township in Jersey. And he is, knowing he's going to start some games. Hurts always gets hurt, no pun intended, but always gets hurt for a few games. So he is going to play. He's going to get game film. He's going to get to play with some really good freaking players over in Philly. So, I mean, it's not a great. I don't think it was a great move. I'm not like I agree with him whining, but it's not the worst place to land if he's trying to kind of get a little bit of a revival and a little bit of a restart.
He should have shut his mouth like a grown adult and worked like a grown adult does. Like, okay, a little bit of complications. Let me work through them. Now he cries like to his mother and says, "Oh, I got to get out of here. It's so bad." Okay, Kenny, goodbye.
Dave, that reminded me of Maynard. Do you remember?
That did remind me of Maynard.
If no one knows, I don't think you know what Maynard is. It's the most ridiculous card. David, if you could find Maynard, please find it. I would like to show, because we need to show people Maynard. But so now Pickett's gone, right? Obviously some bad blood, and I don't think Steeler faithful is going to be happy to see him. But you get Russell Wilson. Are you excited about Russ? Because Russ had a good start to last year, but it certainly petered out. They did not play as well down the stretch. I don't know whose fault it was, but this is now Russ being jettisoned twice in the last 2 years. And it doesn't look great. And this is a second team that reported he's an absolute cancer in the locker room, a big diva, and that he pushes his teammates away. Is Mike Tomlin the coach to fuck with? Is he going to be able to fix what is going on with Russ? And do you trust him to make the plays and be good in that tough AFC North where he's going to get hit? He's going to get beat up. Like, he's not going to be clean. Can't expect to be standing and delivering in the AFC North. So what are you expecting from Russ?
I mean, same time, the AFC West is pretty loaded. I mean, Chris Jones with the Chiefs, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack with the Chargers.
The style is just different.
You know? I hear you. The physicality. I hear you. That's why AFC North is for. I'm gonna going back to your decleat term. Just decleat someone. So yeah,
absolutely.
I think Russ actually is a great fit for the Steelers. I called it before any of the rumors kind of came about, and like that he was meeting with Pittsburgh and the Steelers are going to meet with him. It just made way too much sense for Russ and for the Steelers. Because the thought was Kenny Pickett was going to fight him for the job, and if Kenny loses, he gets to sit behind a possible future Hall of Fame quarterback for a season, which would be nice for him, possibly to see how that goes. But I think it's great. 26 touchdowns to 8 picks. If the Steelers had that last year, the Steelers are probably fighting for the number 1 seed in the North. We had 13 touchdowns from our quarterbacks, which is laughable in today's NFL. So I'm excited for Russ.
And the Jets exist.
I hear you. What'd you guys have, like 12, right? Or were we all tied with 13? It was awful.
I don't know. I think we had 12 or something like that.
Both our offenses sucked in an offensive league. How's that happen? But don't worry, we found ways to do it. So I'm excited for Russ. And then don't forget Justin Fields also in the building. But I'm excited for both those guys. I think it's going to be a fun preseason, a fun training camp, and see how these two go at it and what the Steelers do with them. And see how it works. I don't think the job's handed to Russ right now. I know what they say he's a starter, but if Justin Fields balls out, man, that's your future guy most likely. So
Justin Fields has just become Taysom Hill. Like, honestly, like, he is going to be a gadget guy for a little while. And I don't think, because you don't start Russ. Like, you can't not start Russ. He's there. He's the veteran. He's the savvy guy.
I think it's the same situation. I think he's in pole position. I think Russ has it. Yeah. And let's see what Fields got, man. Like, he played really well at the end of the season for Chicago. You had the fans chant Chicago, we want to keep Fields. Again, am I saying to abort and not draft Caleb Williams as much as he kind of weirds me out a little bit, Caleb Williams. I don't love him.
Caleb
I think
Williams.
Daniels is better, but
he's a baby. You talk about baby. Kenny Pickett's a baby. Caleb Williams is the biggest baby.
I hear you.
The kid hasn't played a snap, and he's calling for fucking ownership. And
I hear you. We can say the Caleb Williams talk for another time. He's a weird cat. But yeah, I just think Fields is going to have something to say about it, and I think it's a big thing for the Steelers. I think for me, the biggest worry right now is wide receiver 2. They traded away Deontay Johnson to Carolina. That was another one of those, just like Kenny Pickett. You want to not be a volunteer and adios. You want to be a hostage. Where are you guys
drafting this year?
They're at 20.
20. So this is a good wide receiver class. It really is. Like, you're not going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. You're not going to get Odunze. You're not going to get some of these top guys. But you can get one of these Florida State receivers. You can get Johnny Wilson. You can get some of these guys that were really effective. And there's a lot of good wide receivers this year in the NFL.
Yeah, they're linked to the second. They're linked to the second LSU receiver.
I forget his name, but not Neighbors. Yeah, I think it's Thomas.
Brian Thomas.
There are a lot of really good receivers, so I think you can find your number 2 at 20 if that's what's there. You know what I mean? Obviously, the draft board falls as it does.
It's weird, man. There's been some weird links in Pittsburgh. Again, I think there's kind of been a change in tides with Omar Khan and the con artist painting his picture for the Steelers.
I love the con. That's a great nickname.
It is.
You need to get him a terrible towel that just says con artist, and that should be great for a game.
I might just get a shirt. Like, I guarantee someone has a customized shirt of like Omar Khan sitting on like a king's chair. He's great. Go
on redbubble.com. It probably exists.
I bet there's something, man. I bet there's something. Steeler fans are freaking lunatics. I guarantee there's for sure. But he's done wonders. So while I'm bringing that up with Omar Khan, not just outside of everything else he's done this offseason, there's been talks that they're looking big fish hunting at wide receiver. They're kind of linked with Brandon Ayuk right now. Brandon Ayuk just tweeted yesterday for the first time since April of last year. He doesn't tweet often, and he tweeted about Mike Tomlin and him looking the same.
Similar, so, yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked. Again,
part of me hates
necessarily do that.
Part of me hates this with social media. It's like, oh, we know they're talking because they like tweets by beat reporters, or it's like, God,
I don't necessarily think that's it, but like, I just think the Steelers behind the scene, like, they were kind of linked with Fields early. If you notice, like, when they're probably looking to trade Fields. The Steelers were hot in that, and the next minute they signed Russ. Was like, oh, they're out of it now. I guarantee the Steelers were still working behind the scenes, like staying interested, but like Omar's just not showing his cards. The Steeler fans were so stupid at the combine. Omar's like, we're sticking with Kenny. Kenny is our guy. I'm like, Do you want him to say Kenny sucks and we're desperate for a quarterback? No, because that means you're going to get your pants pulled. Yeah, you're going to get your pants pulled down in a deal. Like, God.
I mean, Joe Douglas did that with Darnold. Joe Douglas did that with Sam Darnold the whole time. He's good, and boom. Once he found the spot to send him, he sent him.
Because guess what? If you don't get a Fields or anyone else in the building, guess what? You're stuck with them. So guess what? You don't want to throw him out in the fire like, oh, yeah, he sucks. And then, oh, yeah, hi, Kenny. Like,
those are always awkward.
Work. Like, I don't know, man. Some people just sometimes I gotta like take a step off Twitter because I'm like, oh my gosh, so many people are just really that stupid.
Well, it's Twix. It is Twix now. You say it right, Dan. Right?
Yeah,
it is Twix. So before we jump into the next topic, I just want to again thank everyone that is watching right now. We appreciate all of you. Please smash the like button. Give us a share. If you are on Twix watching this, smash the like button on YouTube. Go follow us on the socials. Let people know that you're in here and get more people in here because hi. Saying hello. What up? So before we jump in, talk about some Jets because we want to switch some gears. David, you found Maynard. Please enlighten the world as to what this fucking stupidity is.
It's from TomThinks.com.
Let's hope your sound works.
Which is still a website, but he doesn't have the old animations up there, probably because he's a fucking grown man now. Yeah, but I found this on YouTube.
Oh no, they're in archives. He has high in archives.
I didn't see the archives on there. Either way. This is an old animation. Hopefully the sound works.
This is what you sounded like before Cole.
I'm just going to do the one laugh. We don't need the whole thing.
No, we certainly don't.
Oh, gosh. What is this? Oh, boy. This is terrifying.
Oh! That was it. He's just putting them in different positions and making that laugh. That's all that animation is.
But that's what your laugh reminded me of before it was Maynard. If anyone needs to go, Tom thinks he's out of his damn mind. But that was my child. That was early. Those were the wild west days of the internet with things like Tom Thinks, with websites like Mossai and Newgrounds and all those types of things where it was just the fuckery of the internet. But I want to switch back gears now that we got enlightened to Maynard. We're going to go to the Jets. So, Bolt. The Jets did some work. Before the draft, were able to rebuild their line, albeit a little bit old, potential to not succeed, right? But rebuilt that line. They got in John Simpson from the Ravens. They got Morgan Moses back, and they also grabbed Tyron Smith from the Cowboys. So, what are your impressions for what Joe Douglas did with that line, adding it to Elijah Vera-Tucker, who's hopefully fully healthy, and Joe Tippmann, who, for all intents and purposes, the starting center and looked pretty damn good at the end of last year?
Yeah, I think the Jets have done great business. You kind of have to. You're all in on Vice President and Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah.
Swear to God, if we lose him to politics,
We're not.
You're not. It's just a fun joke that I love having myself. Like, just, oh, gosh.
There was like a hot second where there's an actual possibility floating around.
Oh, gosh. No, I think it was both parties. Like, Rodgers just loved it. The fact that it was like, even if it was closer to like football was going on, I think you would shut that down immediately. But the fact that it's so far away, and it's like, you know what, screw it, this is hilarious.
If I'm in Rodgers' position and that's being floated around, like you said, not that close to like actual camp coming up, that shit's hilarious. Like, it is funny.
I mean, he shut down the Sandy Hook thing right away, so it's not like he's opposed to shutting things down.
Yeah.
Like, if that needs to be done.
So I appreciate what Rodgers did, honestly, with that, letting it ride a little bit. I was enjoying it for a little bit. But I think the Jets have done good business. And then the most recent one, clearly the acquisition of Mike Williams. Again, does he have some injury history? Sure. Happened. Yeah, again, the sandwich. Oh, gosh.
The pork roll, egg, and cheese. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very glad.
NYJ Matt. NYJ Matt that sent that, right?
Yes.
Go to his ex at NYJ Matt. If you're a Jets fan, go give him a follow. He's actually a solid follow. He's a solid fan.
Great follow.
He's a great follow. He doesn't take it too seriously. He's not one of those annoying, Twitter fans that goes crazy over everything. He's one of the people on Jets Twitter that is worth following him. NYJ Matt, NYJ Mike, they're both solid follows, giving them both shout outs. But yes, the pork roll, egg, and cheese solidified it. I mean, what a better way to get a guy in than giving him a pork roll, egg, and cheese. Like, I think that's hilarious.
It's great work, and again, it's a good signing. They needed another legitimate weapon to go alongside Garrett Wilson to take the pressure off him. I think it would have been easier if Rodgers was there, but the problem was there was no Rodgers there, so Garrett Wilson was just forced to try to do everything he could, and it kind of stepped him back in a direction. I know he ended up finishing with over 1,091. He still had a good season, but you could tell it took a toll on him. So the fact,
it's still stupid that he
add yeah, he's a damn good receiver. So the fact that you add a really good player, Mike Williams, next to him, that deep threat where Garrett Wilson can just be the really just overall great wideout that he is.
Yep.
Then you got Zara back. It's a good group for the Jets, man.
And I'm now really comfortable
I hate to see it because they're
Lazard.
an AFC team.
Yeah,
Brock Bowers in the draft.
I would love
icing on the cake for the New York Jets if they were somehow draft Brock Bowers. Oh my goodness, that'd be quite terrifying.
And so, David, I'll ask you this.
That'd be terrifying.
I'll ask you this real quick, Dave. Are you now more comfortable with Lazard playing the 3-4 role? Because we're going to have Xavier Gibson over there in the 3.
It's whatever. I'm fine with him playing there because, he might actually catch the ball if Rodgers throws it. But it just didn't make sense, him dropping it that much. He had a drop issue, but it's just like you couldn't throw it to him anymore because he just wasn't going to catch the ball.
You got to figure those guys had so much pressure on them without Rodgers. Like, they had to do every little thing, because it was the only good passes they were getting. So oh my God, you actually dropped the ball.
I don't know. Zach Wilson last year, I will give the kid credit. He stood and delivered significantly more. And if these drops did not exist, we are possibly looking at Zach Wilson not starting, but still being in New York as a viable backup because these drops killed drives. And there were times where Wilson was on early in the game, throwing darts, looking like a good player, and then drop, penalty, drop, sack, and boom, game's done. By that time, we were down and our defense was fighting for our lives. And Nate Hackett's not the greatest offensive coordinator either, so he wasn't calling plays to get us out of things, and he wasn't using Breece Hall properly. So it's Lazard was there to make the catches, along with a guy like a CJ Uzama who decided that quicksand was better than actually running while he was a Jet. But Conklin stepped up and played well. We saw good things from Jeremy Ruckert last year, but they didn't have a legitimate number 2. And I'm not a Zach Wilson apologist. I do not think he is a good quarterback, but I think he is a serviceable backup if he has people that are willing to catch the football. And there was only Garrett Wilson and Tyler Conklin last year and Breece Hall willing to catch. I think everyone else was just kind of we're going to fucking play volleyball today. Screw you, Zach. It was ridiculous. So, I'm excited for it. So so you talked about the acquisition of Mike Williams. I think the injury thing is a little overblown. He came the ACL last year. He played 13 games 2 years ago. But before that, he was playing 15 and 16 games every year. So do you think that we're going to have 2 guys coming off major injuries looking well? Or are the Jets just got 3, actually, with Tyron Smith? Or are we just kind of playing with fire here?
It's definitely playing with fire, but it's a fire that you hate to say playing with fire, but it's a fire you have to play with. It's one of those you gotta poke it. Okay, let's add a little gas and hope the God it doesn't explode. And because last year surely exploded, so sadly for you guys, and 4 snaps have exploded, and more than one way exploded that Achilles. But yeah, so again, it's a fire you have to play with. It's one of those you can't really plan for the future because if it's now, you got Rodgers. There's no quarterback after that right now in sight. So it's now. So they should have had a Tyrod Taylor on the roster last year, not a Zach Wilson, because how the
would have been nice.
Went. So again, to keep Zach on the roster, because I know what they're trying to do. It was kind of like what the Steelers were trying to do with Kenny. Let him sit behind Rodgers. No offense, he shouldn't have been that close to the field. It should have been, okay, there's a guy in front of Zach.
Yep.
And Zach should have been third at best.
Yes, Zach should have been third, which is fine.
Yep.
And you have a Tyrod Taylor, Jacoby Brissett, a Gardner Minshew, something like that. God forbid something happens. Instead, you had Zach, and it was, and again, I get it. Who expected 4 snaps in for that to happen? But you have to plan for the right.
I did because I said all last summer,
it's only
what can go wrong will go wrong. I was right. What can go wrong will go wrong, and I'm watching it. And even as I'm watching the fucking amazing run through,
it was such a good start.
This was honestly, I think every single football fan in America was like actually happy for the Jets. Like
Yeah, it was awesome.
Like that start of that game was amazing. I'm sitting there like, oh my god, MetLife's never been like that for a football game. Honestly,
no.
I've gone to quite a few Giants games, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, dude, like I felt bad for the Jets fans. Like it's always like I kind of like laugh, like chuckle to myself, and I'm like, dude, this is brutal. Like these poor bastards. I'm like, these poor bastards. I'm like, this sucks. I'm like,
and then the Jets win, which is the most ridiculous part.
And then everyone's like, and then you have the people that are excited, and then the people that are like, season's over anyway. And I was in the season's over anyway. Like this sucks. So like it's brutal, but like, oh god, like it's such a passionate fan base, and just seeing like the Giants have had success, and like the fan base sucks. Like that's what sucks for the Jets fans, because they appreciate things like. That's why hopefully, again, trust me, you guys are an AFC team. I'd rather see us suck as a Steelers fan and get in the wild card, because we're most likely not winning the division. And the AFC East is a shit show as well. The Dolphins are good, Buffalo's good, and the Patriots.
Tua Tagovailoa's brain is mush. I don't give a fuck. That guy just throws the ball up as high as he can, and then Waddle and Hill end up underneath it. There is very little skill to Tua Tagovailoa. Fuck that noodle arm guy. Honestly, I think he's awful. I think Tua Tagovailoa on 31 other teams is Zach Wilson. Like, honestly, he is Zach Wilson on 31 other teams.
I hear you, but he's still a good quarterback, man. You can say the same nonsense about Brock Purdy. I mean,
no, Brock Purdy for 2 years played good football.
No, Alex,
got his way.
You can't say no, Alex. You cannot say no about Brock Purdy and then hammer Tua. Those are
absolutely. I can. Brock Purdy is significantly better than Tua. Significantly. Okay, so Ayuk, is Ayuk better than Waddle? Or
Ayuk's a damn good receiver.
But is he better than Waddle or Hill?
He's probably better than Jalen Waddle. Ayuk is probably better than Jalen
Absolutely
Waddle.
Not. Waddle's the number one on almost every other team.
Oh my gosh.
And Debo.
Dave, do you agree with this? Right? Do you agree with my point on this?
Christian McCaffrey is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But no way. Tua and Brock Purdy are not in the same stratosphere. Tua's one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL.
You can't say Purdy is fine, but then Tua you're going to hammer.
I just don't agree with my brother at all. But we're not going to have this argument on this, because it's not the point of this. That's not the point of this show right now. We're already 47 minutes in. We don't have to push it.
I mean, that is wild to think that Tua Tagovailoa is as good as Brock Purdy or anyone near him.
Gosh, Alex, you just name the receivers. You can name the same nonsense and Sanford. I'm going to pull a Dave here.
Brock Purdy could throw a 15-yard out.
I've seen Tua drive a ball in the bucket like 50 yards. Stop it. So, he's a good quarterback.
So, okay. But what does this have to do with the pork
we went off from the Jets.
Good what does this have to do with it being pork
Alex is having a Taylor Ham
not Taylor Ham.
Alex is having a Taylor Ham.
Bye, Colton. We'll see you later. And no, you're back. But no, it is pork, egg, and cheese. Matt Santos, fucking fix your life. It is a pork, egg, and cheese, okay? And here's the thing. There's a reason why North Jersey says Taylor Ham. Because they're New York. Bottom line, they want to be the city. People in North Jersey want to be New York City so bad, so they are just incorrect on most things. So, pork roll is what David, can you please, I'll go get it up if you want to, but please go get the box for Taylor Ham so we can give a quick rundown of how to read a product box. We need to do this because it is necessary to educate the masses. Because not only do we talk sports and politics and things here, we need to educate the masses here, because people need to know outside of Jersey that this is a battle that is a useless and stupid battle. That people are arguing whether or not pork roll is called Taylor Ham. And I will say, there was a time in the past that it was called Taylor's Ham. Yes, they cannot call it that anymore because it's not ham. So, here we are. Taylor is the brand. It's in red, Taylor, for those that are the reading impaired. There's a little cross in the O or whatever. And the name of the product spelled out pork roll. So, this is not a dispute, everybody. The name of the product is pork roll. The name of the brand is Taylor.
I've never understood how this gets,
stupidity. I can't be nice to those type of people. They're the same people that vote for Joe Biden. I can't be nice to them. They are the same people. I can't be nice to these people.
We turn it to political. Of course
this is a political show most of the time without you.
I know it is. I know.
But
and
overall,
pork roll is a political subject, Colton. Come on, keep up with it.
This is exactly why I don't watch politics, because I just can't go back and the fact that because it is that simple.
That's got to be a shirt.
Taylor, and it's pork roll. Like the item is pork roll. I can never understand how this is a discussion.
That may be our first shirts that we create. People that say Taylor Ham voted for Phil Murphy. Like, that might be a great shirt.
That is a fucking terrible shirt. You are putting a fucking leftist meme on a shirt. Stop with all the text. Just say it's pork roll. It's a fucking perfect shirt. Jesus Christ.
That is true.
Okay, let's keep going.
Leftists can't meme. Okay. Anyway, we're going to jump away from football because we beat that up. And we'll see how it goes. The Jets are still going to find ways to get their whole line hurt. And then, this year's going to be the defense's turn. Watch. Everyone on defense is going to get hurt, and we're going to score 40 points a game. We're going to get up 60 a game.
No, we've heard of spontaneous combustion before, right? I know we've never seen it in person. Well, we're going to see it on the field and all of our players. The whole sideline. It's just going to happen.
Or they're just going to all get explosive diarrhea every game. Someone's going to send them bad Chinese every game, and half the team's not going to be able to play. But I digress.
They're going to start trusting that Matt fellow, the Jets Matt guy, and they're screwed.
He's actually an agent for the Patriots. No, Belichick pays him, and now that he got one food in, they're going to trust him, and he's going to start sending him slow poison. We're kidding, MIJ Matt. We like you. Anyway, we're going to jump over to another sport. We just talked football, and now we're going to talk football. See what I did there? Knee slapper. But in America, soccer sucks, okay? I'm not going to lie. MLS, while they're still pros, I'm not taking anything away from those guys. They are fantastic at the sport of soccer. But when it comes to the pinnacle, when it comes to being truly good, you go to Europe. You go to the Premier League, you go to Serie A in Italy, you go to La Liga, I digress, Liga 1 in France. Those are where you go. MLS has been trying. I give them credit. They're obviously making money because they're expanding. They're going to try to expand again. But Cole, you brought up something before the show that we were chatting about. And something I think I've said to people before, and I think a lot of soccer fans want to see this. The great leagues have relegation. And what relegation is, just for those that don't enjoy soccer and don't know, is that you have what's called a table, which is the standings. And usually it's the 3 teams at the bottom of the standings at the end of the year go down to another league. And then the 3 top teams from the lower league come up with the chance to play in the highest league. It's the best way to explain it. Now, in order to do this, you need to have those feeder leagues underneath you in order to relegate teams and bring them up. MLS struggles in that sense. We're adding teams in the United States, but we are not adding or bringing leagues in, right? What would be the pros and cons, Bolt, of having relegation in the MLS?
I don't think there is any cons, to be honest. I just think it's people get more into it, and that's why I'm not into it, to be honest. Again, the product is getting better, but there's no punishment for those games. Don't mean anything for the teams at the bottom. Cool. The tank. I hate the tanking. I want everything. You got to fight for your life as much as it sucks being an Everton fan, watching us have to live and breathe and sweat out every game. But it's true though. And the thing is, there's teams and you know what? I hate you. What I also don't get is that these MLS teams think they're too good for all these USA tournament things. Mm-hmm. What do we do? They're so scared. I think I have this one team. Gosh, it's based off a burrito. I just saw on social media. A team that beat the Portland Timbers. There's got to be more of that. No offense. Otherwise, why do the European teams, all these top clubs, do it? Face these dumb these smaller teams in the League Ones and the League Twos. That's part of it. I don't understand what we're not getting while we're all too big and preppy over here that we can't lose to these games. It's competition that happens. You have teams all over. Again, a team that I'd probably follow because I'm not into Red Bulls, I'm not into NYCFC. I'd probably follow the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, which is a soccer team in Pittsburgh. I'd probably follow them, and I'm looking at their schedule. There's a bunch of random teams on here that clearly are not in the MLS. So there's soccer teams around the U.S.
There's other leagues,
to make this works. So, like, again, if you have the idea, like, hey, we're going to probably do this, and you look at the higher leagues, I don't know, like, where the Pittsburgh Riverhounds or whatever, how that works, like, how low they actually are, like, and like soccer levels compared to the MLS, how bad they are. I have no idea. I haven't like actually paid any attention. But you like give like a 2-year notice, like, or a year notice, like, hey, the top 3 teams from whatever. I don't know. Again, I'm not huge in like the soccer tree of the United States of like how many different leagues and how many different teams are around the US. But again, just looking at this, so I don't know what league bracket they're in compared to an MLS side. But like, if you give like a year or 2 notice, like, hey, this is what we're going to be doing, and these teams, like the top 4 teams from this team, then we'll set up a league table. Like, it's not that hard.
I like their crest. I do like the Riverhounds crest. It is a nice crest.
I just don't understand why they're so scared and so prepped that they can't do this. Like, no one takes you seriously. Like, that's why Europe laughs at you, because it's like, okay, you're just going to tank and that's it. There's no like punishment for losing, nothing. Like, I just don't.
So here's what I see as a problem with this, and there would have to be a lot of changes, right? The MLS would completely and totally have to restructure. Like, the playoff system needs to go. I think the playoff system needed to go yesterday, because we are the only major league in the world that has a playoff. Because Americans were so used to seeing playoffs where everywhere else in the world they have the table. Mm-hmm. You fight for points, you win your table. Better luck next year if you don't. And I don't know. I think they think Americans are too stupid to understand the table. But if we had that to me is more exciting than a playoff, right? Because every game matters, comes down to the end, and there isn't that one game of chance that the best team might get caught. So I think
I get why the playoffs great, Alex. I get why it is. Like
for us it is, right? But what's more exciting right now? The EPL. It's fantastic because you have City, Arsenal, and Liverpool going to war, and it's going to come down to the last 2-3 weeks, and whichever one falters, and I'm pretty sure City plays Arsenal close to the end, and that is going to be ridiculously exciting. And I'm a City fan.
They play Easter Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that has so much more than an MLS playoff. Like, that to me is more exciting because these are teams that have kicked, scratched, and bled all season for the chance to get here. Now, I get it. You do the same to get into the playoff, but then it's you have to be your best that day, be your best the next day, and then hopefully everything goes great, right? That you're always going to be your best for whatever games. And I just don't think, from being a soccer fan when I'm young, to me, I've always seen that. I'm like, this isn't soccer. This is Americanized. This is not soccer. So, Dave, what did you share here?
I shared a couple of CONCACAF stuff that happened recently.
So, yeah, explain these amazing things.
MLS should understand where it's at still, because this is MLS versus Mexican League teams. And Pachuca destroyed Philadelphia. Philadelphia's actually a good team in the MLS.
Yes.
I believe Orlando City's not that bad. And Tigres, of course, destroyed them as well. And
I expected Tigres to beat up on a lot of people.
Well, but Pachuca's good too.
Pachuca's good too, but it's like, it shouldn't be this bad.
It shouldn't be this bad. Like, if you do not watch,
man, Solomon Rondon with a hat trick in that game.
Yeah. If you do not watch soccer, these scores are not normal. You don't even have to watch it. You probably already know, but these scores are not normal. This is not supposed to happen to teams.
3-1 is a shellacking in soccer. This is the friggin' women playing the U15 team. The USWN team playing the U15 team.
It's like, I just don't understand why we're so scared for these teams. Like, that's kind of what it is. They're just scared. Like, they think they're too good. Like, that's what you don't see them in these cups, in these like tournaments, how they have it in Europe, like the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. Like, that's like, you don't see that stuff. Like, I just don't understand why they think they're too good, because they're not. The whole world laughs at you, so you might as well try to get even in what they're doing. Like, I just don't understand.
Do you think they're scared because they can't keep their best players home? Do you think they're scared because their best players are going to Europe and they can't keep their best players home on these teams?
But ask Dapo about Nigeria's best player.
That's true. Ask Dapo about that. But also, I think there's a big problem. You talk about tanking. There's no such thing as tanking in the other leagues, because it is, and because there's no draft. The draft is such, again, an American thing. The MLS Super Draft should be eliminated. And when the players are old enough and eligible, they enter into the table. They enter into the transfer window, and then you can buy them, you could sell, you can bid, right? You can put people on loans. And just like every other kid around the world, unless you're American, you get into the field, you get into the pool of eligible players. And the thing that drives me fucking crazy is all MLS teams participate in the transfer window while still having a draft. It makes sense. How do you participate in the international transfer window where you buy, loan, and sell, but you still draft the player and now you have their rights? And how does that work? Are you giving them a contract and then you say we can't loan you out? Like, that doesn't benefit the young player either, because it would benefit so much more if they had this system. And there is an academy system in the United States. Not all MLS teams have them, but there is an academy system. There are MLS academies. It would make so much more sense.
And the sport's growing. Like, honestly, that's another one of those things, like, in 20 years, man, I always laugh. There's a lot of us at the radio station that are that are soccer football guys. And, like, that's why I love it. Like, I go into work and we'll bull crap about it for, like, 15, 20 minutes before we have to go do our jobs. But, like, we'll sit there and talk soccer, footy for a little bit, and it's awesome. And, like, oh, God. Like, eventually, I think by the time we – like 20, 25 years, we'll be talking about it on the radio. Like, these guys laugh at the Boomer and Gio's, like, talking about soccer. Like, Tiki Barber's into it. Like, I talked to one of my first days on the job, I talked to Tiki Barber like 5-10 minutes about Liverpool, and he was going across the pond. I'm like,
you can't talk to Tiki. Tiki's mean.
It's awesome.
Tiki's mean to Saquon.
Yes, Tiki's mean.
Tiki's a mean man.
He sure is. He's a mean guy. But yeah, like, it's just like, it's just growing. And, like, I think because it was still when Tierney was working with Tiki, and Tierney was like, what are you watching? And he was like watching Liverpool in, like, the Champions League. He's like, blah, blah, like, cracking jokes at Tiki. I'm sitting there, like, laughing. I'm like, only if BT knew this sport's growing, man. Like, they couldn't sell at MetLife, but then as soon as you put Arsenal and United in there, MetLife finally sold out for the first time, like, forever, because the football teams actually suck and the fans don't show up. But don't worry, you bring two top talented soccer teams into town, footy teams, and they'll sell out the joint. It's, oh my God.
And it just
I'm
goes
so
to show.
like, there's so many good soccer teams coming over. Like El Clasico's at MetLife this summer. Dude, I'm so engulfed in soccer. I just love it, man.
All I need to know is Messi came to Inter Miami and this country turned into a soccer country. Lionel Messi has been ripping and has actually been practicing every single game, right? He gets a hat trick by mistake. He always has a brace. Like, the guy is just toying with everybody.
I know the joke's always been the MLS is like the retirement home for these guys. Like, I know Olivier Giroud from AC Milan's kind of linked with the MLS. I know Marco Reus from Borussia Dortmund is kind of also linked to the MLS. Oh, I know it's been going on forever, but, like, and I'm fine with that, because guess what? That puts ass in seats. See, I know what you're trying to go with this, Alex. Like, because you want it to become. It's never going to be Europe. That's what sucks. It's never going to be Europe.
But it can. Like, it can if it's done the right way. It absolutely can. I don't think we're going to compete with the big four, right? I don't think we're going to compete with Spain. I don't think, you still have the cat. You're never going to back, Dave. I don't think we're going to compete with Spain. I don't think we're going to compete with, some of these, the major, your EPL. Maybe not even Portugal in the second tier. But there's no reason why we can't be there with those third tier leagues, which are still very profitable leagues, very good leagues. Right now, the MLS is a joke. It's not even you don't bring your kids to practice to learn there. If your kid's any sort of talented, you want them to go to Europe. You want them to get the hell out of here. It shouldn't be that way. It should be that you can cultivate your talent in the MLS, still be really good, a high-level league, and then when you're ready to really cash in, then you go to the big leagues. And that's not what it is now. You have to run the fuck away to Europe just to get some training in order to get ready to go to the big leagues.
Well, it's
a joke.
Isn't there that 14-year-old American that just signed with City? He's not playing in the MLS. Nothing.
No, why would you?
Giuseppe Rossi told United States to kick rocks because he had dual citizenship and decided, I'm going to go play for the Azzurri. I'm going to go to Italy because United States soccer is a joke, and so is the MLS. I'm going to go play in Europe, and I'm going to go play for Italy. And that's the thing. We have these prodigies. It's not like we don't have talent.
I mean, just look at it. Look at the talent. Yeah, just look at the talent. All these guys are making it big in Europe.
They're doing well.
This is the first time. This is probably the first time in a long time. And the thing is, that's what's great. It's going to be going on for a lot more kids are playing it.
Yes,
it is growing. It's that's why I don't understand why the MLS thinks they're too good to figure this out. It's really not difficult. I know it's going to take a little bit of. I know it's a little bit of thinking. Yeah, but that's money. What it is, Alex. Yeah, that's what it is.
Honestly, they're making money. They're expanding, Bolt. That's what it is, because you don't expand unless you're making money. They're thinking of putting a team in Vegas. Unless you're making a profit as a league, you're not going to try expanding. They're making money. The U.S. men's team makes a lot of money every year, and they are making money because it's trickling in, and they don't care. The people up top do not give a shit like the fans do to walk and enter into the world stage. As long as they are making money and it's profitable, they are not going to touch it. They're not going to touch it because they don't care. As long as there's supporters, that's all they care about. And when you have the supporters that Seattle and Portland has, you don't need to do anything. They fucking fuel the MLS. Those people are insane.
Yeah, that's what sucks, man. I'm not even like I'm gonna try to go to an MLS game this year because
Red Bulls Arena is awesome. It is fun. It's fun at Red Bulls Arena.
I will never I wouldn't say never unless there's any drastic changes. I will not be anywhere rooting for an MLS side. It's just not going to happen.
I like the Red Bulls,
and that's what sucks. I'm an idiot, and I root for Everton. That suck, but and Ward knows what I'm ever going to. And Ward knows
you may want to root for an MLS team instead.
You're hilarious. That's not happening. But I'll never Ward knows I'm ever getting across the pond to see Everton. Yet it's right here in my backyard, Red Bulls Arena, not far. It's literally an hour away, and I have zero interest in rooting for them and going to games consistently.
Well, I've been to was Audi Field, DC United Field, but I was going to see XFL games. I didn't see DC United play at all.
And also, Bolt,
that's what I'm saying.
I became a Red Bulls fan when they had Thierry Henry and Bradley Wright Phillips. So it's I got to see good soccer. I got to see some really talented players and was a fan of them. And now it's kind of.
You're still seeing good soccer Leo Messi, Alex. You hated retirement
but I'm saying in New York, there was a reason to be a Red Bulls fan at that time because of those guys. Now, I agree with you. What's the reason? Unless you like Inter, right? Unless you're an Inter fan, is there a reason? And wherever Giroud goes to, if he doesn't go to Inter, maybe you'll have some people gravitate there. But it's not really a reason to be a fan of the MLS outside of that, and it's sad because. The fixes we talked about here could probably draw more eyes and maybe get more guys around the world to take us seriously too, because we're actually participating like a world league. But they're not going to do it, Paul. They won't. We're just saying.
We just wasted our breath for 12 minutes talking about this. Yeah, it's definitely not ever changing.
But that's what a sports podcast is for, and that's what a podcast is for: yelling about things.
Yeah,
and I think we successfully.
I'm very happy we just talked about it. I'm just saying it sucks that it's never going to happen. That's why I will keeping my attention to Europe. So
I was gonna say, if America decided to tell the metric system to go fuck itself and use a completely different measurement, we're definitely not going to decide to be anywhere near the rest of the world on soccer.
That is very true, Dave. That is very true. So
that's the thing. I know it'd be pulling teeth and it would suck because oh my gosh, we have to do something and possibly can lose money for a little bit and not be gaining as much as we are. But in the end, the long term could be ginormous for USA soccer. Oh my God. That's what sucks. It could be great. Like I said, I would get into it. I would find a team. I'd be a Pittsburgh. I don't even know what the hell they're called. I'd be a Pittsburgh Riverhound fan. I would follow it. I'd be into it. But I just. It's just so stupid. There's just no punishment, and that's so hilarious. Though I didn't even think about that part. They have a draft, but they compete in the transfer windows. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Oh gosh!
You know what makes me sad? Oh, actually, I'm very happy about this. So, Colton, how angry are you going to be? And this is where we're going to leave off this podcast, and I love it because we're going to leave Colton angry. How mad are you going to be when Kenny Pickett beats the Steelers? This year in the away game against Philly.
Is there a leave button on this thing? Can I? Oh wait, there is a leave button. There
is a leave button. You certainly can leave. But
that's hilarious.
What are you gonna do when Pickett comes in, throws for 450, 3 touchdowns?
He's gonna throw 2 picks, and I'm gonna be calling him Kenny Bitchit the rest of the day on Twitter, and I'll be dancing around and let's stop it. He is not doing it.
This is gonna be enshrined. If Kenny Pickett lights up the Steelers, I can't wait. I will bring this up. I will clip this, and I will send it to Will so he can use it for the fans all the time.
Honestly, dude, that'd be great to see, honestly. Kenny Pickett versus Steelers. Dude, that'd be funny. Where's that game at? Oh, it's in Philly.
It's in Philly.
He's lucky. He gets to, be curled and catered there, and he doesn't have to face the Steeler fans. Oh,
unfortunately for him, too, that is a stadium where the fans show up. So it's not like the Steelers fans can overwhelm it. It's not like one of those stadiums where, Steelers fans can go take over. Philly fans show out. So
it's not like in LA where there's 5 LA fans and the rest of the away team fans.
Yeah. we have two teams there. Think about that. We have two teams there. So they're great.
It's such an embarrassment. But Bolt, thank you so much for coming on, man. This was fun.
Appreciate you guys, man. This was a blast. Love talking outside of football and love.
Yeah, you're lucky Everton staved off regulation.
You're an idiot for regulation.
Not there yet. I hate you. Oh yeah, as well as you also didn't say relegation, so I hate.
I mean, we're not there because also Everton hasn't gotten their penalty yet, so we'll find out if they get.
No. We're not. No, we got the worst. We got the worst of the penalty. We're fine. This penalty is gonna be like a smack in the face. We're gonna fine you. They're not gonna do anything this time around. And
that just means City's gonna get absolutely nothing.
That's the next time when I'm back on in 2 or 3 months, 4 months, whenever I'm back on, we're gonna be hammering corrupt. We're gonna talk how corrupt the EPL is. Oh, we forgot.
No, we're not, because all we're gonna talk about is here's my thing. Also, I'm gonna end with this.
See this?
I want them. I want them to relegate City.
Of the world suck.
No. Here's the thing. I want them to relegate City. I will be pumped if they do, because then City can go down to the other league, win it for 6 times in a row, whatever, how long they're down there. They're forced to stay down there, and then come back, win right away again, and I can call every single champion while they were gone illegitimate. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
He just wants some dumb fucking talking points.
Yes, I just want to be.
Thing you can talk about.
I just want to be a dickhead, and then however long they're down there, if it's 2 years or whatever, whoever wins, Liverpool's going to pretend they're good. Maybe United might have a spark and maybe not make a Europa for once. Instead, make a Champions League because they suck.
Tottenham finally wins a trophy.
Tottenham maybe. No. The EPL will make sure Tottenham does not get it. We all know this. Tottenham is the Everton of good teams, okay? We will make sure that Tottenham can get so close. And then the EPL is going to be like, oh, VAR, that didn't go in. They're like, what do you mean? Clearly, I just kicked it in the back of the net. Nope, VAR says no. So, no, that's what's going to happen. So that is my dream. I want City to be relegated just so they can come back like a shitstorm, win when their first year back, and I can be like, yeah, the rest of you guys are illegitimate. That is my wet dream there. But all right, everyone, thank you so much for watching the show. We appreciate everybody that watched. Once again, if you like what you heard, give us a like, a share, follow, subscribe, rate 5 stars wherever you can. Spread this word of mouth for next time. We're gonna have another great show. If you want to find Colton, once again, producer for WFAN Sports Radio 66 and CBS Sports Radio, he's one of the guys there pushing the buttons for all the big guys that you hear. If you want to find him, you can go find him at The Real Sea Wagon on Twix and Colton Gesser on Instagram. So you can go find him there. He's obviously, you can hear he's a cheery fellow with sports opinions happening. Steelers Nation, he participates there. He does their spaces and things like that. And then also for the Fans Podcast, Wednesdays, 5 o'clock. Will, Dom, yourself. What's the other cheeky fellow's name?
Jake.
Sorry, Jake. Missed you. But yes. They are there. Go listen to some good football takes there. They're fun. They're always ranting and raving, and Will is poking Colton and making Colton get angry. And it is actually a very good time. When I can watch, I love supporting it. But again, give us a good listen. Give us a good review, and we will be back next time. Everybody, thank you so much.
Goodbye.
So long, guys.